Good morning. Good morning, my friend. Today, man, we're talking about about knowing who you are. This is an interesting question, and a conversation. Sometimes isn't a fun one to have, but we're gonna have it today because today's a beautiful day, and I don't know where you're at in the world, but I'm here in my home, and I'm excited to chat with you this morning. Good morning, those of you guys who are tuning in. Kitty Parsons joining. Good morning. So today we're gonna talk about this thought of, man, who are you? Generally, Marco Stavrell, appreciate you. Good morning. Man, this is one that I think is it's an incredibly important one. Hello, how you guys doing? Jitu Rawal, good morning, Father and unforgives I don't. I can't read it. My apologies, going fast. Dayuban Ketley, I think it is. Good morning, Coach Masuzi. Good morning, Mel, Coach Eddie. Good morning. So here we go. Let's talk about how you have to do with you being successful. And there's something we call the triad. The triad or tripod is it's an interesting concept. Now, I want you to think about this tripod of your life as something unique. Now, years ago, I had this concept come up, and Father anew. Okay, Father anew forgives I don't. Got you. All right. So here's how the tripod works in life. And the tripod and work is very interesting. Let's first talk about like the problems you may experience or what you might find in your life what becomes difficult. A lot of people gather a bunch of information. They go and read a bunch of books. They get a bunch of courses. They start even executing some of this stuff. But there's two levels of what takes place. First level is somebody who gathers a bunch of information, but they don't do anything with it, unfortunately. Now, it doesn't come out and I didn't do anything with it. It's going to come soon. Or I'm about to get done. Or I'm going to read this book. And we buy these things, we put them to the side, and we never actually consume them. Like never actually. 97% of people do not finish online courses. It's crazy. It's a statistic that was done a couple of years ago, which means that people buy a bunch of stuff and don't do anything with it. And it's always this hope and this dream of I'll do it, but we're just getting by. You spend a bunch of time getting by, getting through, getting by, surviving, but never get to that next tier that you know is right there outside of it. And then on top of that, what happens is people who do execute, like they may take a step, but they don't do it bold. Like they don't do it the level that's got to be brazen bold outside of that stage to get some new traction, some new movement, to get some new success. Or they do it one time and it doesn't work and they tuck away and they find a new shiny object to chase. Now I'm saying this because it might be you. I'm not saying it is you, but there might be some part of you that's experienced something like this before. And what I found is what's called the triad or the tripod. I keep saying triad because it's a different part of my coaching, but tripod. Gail's health coach is here from Nebraska. Good morning to you. Here's how it works. If you think about a tripod holding a camera up, I'm literally on a tripod right now holding my camera up. I can't show you the camera. If I could put a mirror on it maybe. But I can't show you the camera. But here's how it works. It actually has 3 legs. 1, 2, and 3 that you can't see. Got one. Hold on. Look at this. This is a tripod. I happen to have one in the studio just sitting right by my desk. I did not plan this, but I'm glad it's here. So I got this tripod. And just so you know, I didn't know what I was going to talk about until I hit record. I usually do that. I hit record and go live, and then I start talking and something comes out of my face. It's very interesting, the dynamic of how my brain works. But I did 3.65 straight years of content pieces, 90 seconds a day. So it's a weird way my brain works. Let's get back to normal. Here we go. Tripod. The tripod holds up at the top of this thing a C. Typically, it's going to be a camera. At the top here, you got a camera at the top, right? The camera can do some cool things. In your life, that C does not stand for camera. It stands for what you will create. It stands for the job you'll create, the body you'll create, the life you'll create, the marriage you'll create, the legacy that you will create in your life. That's what the C stands for in this tripod. Then you have 3 legs. These 3 legs are very specific. They all hold a very important piece because here's the thing. If one of these legs falls short, you can't really stabilize your life. You can't create something amazing. You can't hold up something you've created into the world. So there's 3 different legs of this thing. Here's how the 3 legs work. It's called tools, techniques, technician. Good morning, everybody. I'm seeing you guys come in. Mel, Coach, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Becca Boston, good morning to you. Zelfa Soul, hey. So here's what takes place. I got this tripod. There's tools, technique, technician. Let me talk about this. The tools. We all gather a bunch of tools. We go, and I just talked about it. We gather all the things in the world. This is one of my things that I feel bad about myself for. At one point when I was starting out this business, I had this thought, and this is what takes place. The marketing minds of the world, they marketed to me like crazy. All you need is this one thing. It'll change the game. It'll be everybody see you. I got something called Flixel. Flixel's a unique tool. You can stand here, you can record a video, and then you can do this thing where you can scrub over your face and you'll stand still, but the background will move. And I did this thing where I jumped in front of a tree. I stood up, I jumped in front of a tree where it was a windy day, and I paused. So I was still, but the tree branches moved. Here, listen to this. I, in the heart of my hearts, thought this was going to be the breakthrough to my coaching business to picking up and taking off. This is like 2000 and might have been like 15, 16. I legitimately thought that this little Flixel thing, if somebody saw this picture, they're going to be so enamored by it that they're going to click my thing and want to hire me. I'm not kidding. This is what happened in my head. I had this, it's called a Flixel. In my head, good morning, Farmer Mima. I thought this was the key. And what happens is the programs we buy, they sell it that way. This is going to be the breakthrough. The crazy was going to see it. Can you imagine that? And I go, yeah, that's going to do it. And I got in and it didn't work. Obviously, no one cares to see a cool picture of me standing there, everything moving in the background. It's cool, but that's not going to be the game changer. But what we do is we gather the information. We get all the tools, the information, all the information here. And what happens is with the tool, it's useful, but it doesn't do everything we need. And we get sold on the tool being the key. So we're like, all right, I got to get that software to build a funnel. I got to have this specific website. I got to get this tripod. I got to get these tools. And we got all these tools. The crazy thing is the tool can work, but I'm going to talk about how. Because here's what takes place. The tool is only as good as a technique. So we have tools in life, and the tool is a great thing. However, you can't use it just by itself. You must know how to use it. Because, for example, there are people who are using that Flixel thing to have success in their business. Let's be honest, it's happening, right? Maybe they don't do it the same way. There are people who are using funnels to make amazing seven-figure businesses, but not everybody. There are people who are writing phenomenal books, right? Making an amazing book and putting it out, right? It's cool. That's the tool. But it's the technique behind the scenes of whatever this tool is that makes the magic happen. And far too few people don't grasp this. The tool by itself is only as good as the actual information of how to use it. You can get an amazing computer, but if you have no idea how to manage it because there's no process, there's no manual to it, you're stuck struggling, right? And what happens is there are some amazing tools and amazing coaching programs that in fact work. Tools and techniques that are amazing and will change your life. Good morning, Mr. J, Crazy J Dub, right? There's these things out here. But here's the last thing that has a humongous piece to it. I'm doing that in my voice because my voice it's in Barry Manilow morning voice time for you. Hey, baby. Hey, I'm singing it. Anyways, let's go out of that. The third piece of this. So we have the tools, which are amazing, technique, which is good together. But the last leg is a technician. And the technician, my friends, is the one that I want to talk about right now. And I'm going to do something. Think about this. The technician in this tripod right here, if I extend out the tools, we got the tools, right? I got the tools long. If I go on this side and I say, you know what, boom, I'm going to take out the techniques. I got the tools and techniques. The last piece I'm missing is the technician. And what I mean by this is what ends up happening for a lot of people in life is I'm going to put this right here in front of my face. They get all the tools and techniques. This is what's going on in the world. We get a lot of tools, we get a lot of techniques, and we consume as we buy them, we put them on the shelf, we get shelf esteem. This is an amazing thing, right? But what ends up happening is we get to this area where we struggle to be the technician to utilize it all. Now, if you give an amazing brand new MacBook computer with an amazing manual to a newborn that cannot read, the computer doesn't get used. So we sit here doing it in our mind of minds. We assume, you know what, I'm not good enough. This is why imposter syndrome picks up, or the perspective of my inability from past failures, because you probably failed at something in the past. All these things climb into our head because for us, what we are assuming is, man, it's not going to work. So what do? We blame it on the program. We blame it on the tool or the technique. And we never go to the root and say, maybe it's the technician. Maybe it's me who's using this thing that needs to up level a little bit. You know, maybe it's me that's got to get a little bit more in depth and a little more dialed in to figure out what I'm missing to get some things operational. Because if you have an amazing tool and an amazing technique, it's not the tool or technique. It's the person behind the scenes using it. And this is where I started this whole conversation with, who are you? Who are you? Genuinely, who are you? And it's a question that's hard to answer from a conscious standpoint. Legitimately, when it comes to neuroscience, it's the part of your brain that shuts down when you start thinking is who you are. So when you're thinking about it right now, it's actually not even active. So when you're daydreaming, it comes on. It's super weird, but our brains, they're weird tools. And so what I think about is, who are you with these tools and techniques? Are you the person who is disgustingly disciplined, consistent, executes past pain because it's who you are to do it? Are you the one that has fortitude, mental fortitude, physical fortitude? You stand up. Are you the person that just desires something greater, has a deeper why? It's not even a way that you would think about it. Who you are, like how you show up, happens in the moments that you bypass without thinking. It's when it comes to that day, you're supposed to make that action or make that call or make the big ask or reach out to that person that's a big name and it might scare you. It's at that moment wherever you get to determine who you are. And sometimes we'll make good excuses to not do it. We'll procrastinate a little bit. We'll say, I'm scared. We'll plan our big vision boards and we'll feel like that's I got my energy. I've planned a vision board. But then are you the person that executes on it? Are you the person that's the 3% of people who in fact get the book they got and read the book? But there's so many people who buy things and never read them, never consume. It's only 3% of people, in fact, complete informational products. Are you the kind of person that completes it? And if you're not, be honest. Because as long as you sit there and have that going on, but you protect it, there's a reason why, and not having a reason of, it's not a good enough reason, I need to do it, you'll stay in that same cycle, which means you'll keep getting the same life you keep living. And I'm not saying it's a horrible life, but if you want more, you got to do a little bit more in a different level, in a different range. And so what you have to start thinking about is how do you become that 3% of people who just first finish things, consume and finish, then become the 1% who execute. Out of that 3%, not everybody does it. Here's what I think this is my thought. It ends up being what I call the 1%. We know the 1%. The 1% of people are the 1%ers, man. It's usually a financial thing. Why are they the 1%ers? Some people are generational wealth. Let's be honest. Let's take into account the people who are the 1% of an operational business that they built from scratch right now. It's probably about a 1% of those, if you look at statistics, who have started businesses and in a decade are still around in business. It's about a 1% number. Why are they 1%? Is it because they have different tools and techniques? Did they go to Mars and get something you don't have? Did they have some new thing that's behind the scenes software that only they have access to? Are they the only ones with access to a YouTube video to watch it? No, they are not the only ones with the access to the information. They're not the only ones who've consumed the information. They're the only ones who became the human being deeply rooted at an identity level to be the one to get stuff done. Past what seems logical. There's things that may not seem logical to the rest of the world that I do. I 100% know they don't make sense to my wife, but I do them, right? There's certain people that are in we'll call my circle of friends and colleagues. They do things that other people look at them and go, well, how are you so consistent? How do you stay dialed in? How do you balance your life? How do you da-da-da-da? It's who I am. I don't even think about it the way that you guys do anymore, right? I'm not saying that I'm just saying that's how I talk to these people. I don't think about it that way. It's just who I am to do that. And that's the key for you to have success. You don't have to be some mogul billionaire. That's a different level you may not want to reach. But if you want to reach outside the level of what you have right now, it's not more information. It's not going to be more tools and techniques. That's going to be there. There's free. You've got enough in your head already. It's going to be a matter of, do you extend the leg of your technician? Do you elongate who you are so you can stand tall as a tripod in your life and hold up your creations? That's what it boils down to. Are you the person behind the scenes who will find out any crazy way to get things done? Because here's the truth. Truth is this. I found that every person who's a phenomenal technician, they don't even need as many tools and techniques to get there. Because of who they are and how much of a problem solver and solution finder that they are in their hearts and their minds at an identity level, they don't need it anymore. They make them. That's your think about what people are buying of information. Somebody who had the identity to create and to go past the frame of logic, they went and created something. And they said, I got this success with this thing I made. I'm now going to come in and show you how I did it. And so they go back and they teach the world. What does the world do? Consume it and buy it, or buy it and not consume it. And that's how the world works. So the thing is, if you shift it to the identity of a person, just get stuff done, just that alone, you become a creator. You become the one people come to get these informational products, to get these tools. That's what the change of the world is, man. It's not, the change of the world doesn't happen until you change internally, shift internally. Because that's the thing that's a game changer. That's the thing that makes a difference. That's why I do what I do. These conversations I have are the same thing all the time. Good morning, Savake. This book is called Never Fight Alone by a guy named Shlomo Solson. And I'm in here, chapter 51. Oh, I passed it up. He had us do this interview process. Look, that's me. Anthony Trucks. He had us do an interview process. The interview process turned into a book chapter. So I'm in the book. Go check the book out. But this is what I want you to grab today. I hope this helps you at least get a little fire spark tonight. I think it's a good week to do it because it's Thanksgiving week. And I want you to think about, is it going to be a day of pause? And I want you to have great thanks for what you have. But think about how you got to the point of having something to be thankful for. You work to a certain level. Who you are got you to where you are. You're not at the bottom. Let me make sure I'm clear about this. You're not at the bottom. I appreciate it, Obita John. You're not at the bottom. But you got to realize that what you're thankful for can be much more next year. It can be greatly, greatly grander next year. I'm going to hold the book up one more time for you. So when you start thinking about what you got going on in your life, start thinking about what am I doing this year, past this Thanksgiving moment, to start setting myself for being incredibly thankful for even more next year. Because that's going to be the thing that changes your life. And it's not going to happen by a bunch more books and things you read. I'm telling you, it's going to happen from what you do with it, who you bring into your life to help you get these things done. Because the moment that happens, the moment you step out of the realm and realize, I can't sit here and feel comfortable with the fact that I got this YouTube video and I went to this free training course and I went to that and that's going to be the game changer. No, who are you with that stuff? What are you going to do? Because it's who you are, and you'll stay crazy consistent over time. Because when you do, man, that's when things change. That's when the game's going to be a whole different monster for you. I'm going to put in here, because I forgot to do it, it's an everyday thing for you guys, ShiftStarterDaily.com. So what I do is every morning, today we're talking about dreams over there, ShiftStarterDaily.com. I'm going to go ahead and put this link in there. When you guys go there, go check out the podcast. It's a daily podcast. A lot of thoughts like these in different areas, but I give a little text in the morning if you want. It says, hey, today's episode dropped. Come check it out. And then it's 8 minutes. You hear a little bump in your mind when you're brushing your teeth or doing your morning poop, whatever it is that you do, and you get to hang out and listen to my brain and the things about today. I think this week is dreams, parenting. I can't think of the rest of it. It's somewhere in my notes. But they're in there. Go check them out. Go to ShiftStarterDaily.com. But at the end of the day here, I start every day at 7:30, Misha's time. What I want you to think about this week is, are you being the right technician? You got the tools out there. They're free. You got the techniques out there. A lot of them are free. The ones who make something from that are not the ones who invest just in the information. The information is key. Don't get me wrong. It is necessary. But when you become the right technician, the information becomes less necessary to succeed because you find a way. Like the Jurassic Park, think about it, they had all female embryos and somehow life found a way. They didn't give it tools. They gave them all like female parts and they didn't give them the techniques. They didn't tell them how to do things. But somehow these dinosaurs learned to procreate and they grew, right? And it even says there's a big thing. Life found a way. Well, you find a way. Because when you become the person who finds a way, you'll find yourself in so many more grander opportunities than your mind can imagine right now. There are opportunities right now waiting for you. Ones that are so grand and so vast, they're waiting for you, but they can't show up in front of your life until you are at the right level to receive them. So you got to get your life to that level, man. I'm telling you, that's the big, big key. Please follow and share Fighting for Charlie. I appreciate that. Check it out. You got to catch the podcast, Luke, man. Go get on it. It's only 8 minutes, my man. And those of you guys are over there, go to textanthony.com if you want to. So I have this new thing where like I use the text thing. It's textanthony.com. It'll populate right to your phone and text box. And you just text me. And I actually get it. It's on the other side. It's like better than Instagram because that way it goes right to me. And I don't have to like think about logging onto the app to go and talk to people. So go to textanthony.com if you want to get daily reminders for the podcast. And if you want to just chat with me, that's how you do it. So that's it. Do the thing. Do the work. Yeah, you do got to wait for directions sometimes, Lord the Shatter. I'm not going to say that you don't because that stuff's helpful. But think about what the separator is for you. A lot of people feel protected and just so you know, I'm going to tell you about how my business runs. My business runs with people that are having very specific aspirational goals they want to achieve. And one of the biggest conversations I have is, but Anthony, I'm already in this coaching program. I got this informational tool. I got to wait to finish that one. And then I'll look at this. And I'm like, do you realize that I asked him, I said, have you ever in the past bought a program and not finished it? Yeah, but this time is different. Why? It just is. I'm really committed to it. Oh, yeah? I've been committed to a lot of things in life and haven't always fell through. Do you have a system in place to allow yourself to actually get this done past the level of feeling that may take place one day when you wake up and don't feel like it? Well, no, but I got to wait to get that one done. And in my head, I'm like, man, if people just grasp this one thing, if you had a system in your life that was able to teach you how to shift into that person to kind of come up alongside and like sidecar on a motorcycle, take these products into life, then you got to imagine, like, that's the thing that changes the game. You got to get to the point where you start realizing one of the big changes, one of the big things that happen for your life is going to be when you start understanding that you can't keep protecting the position you're in to make yourself feel better. You got to get to the point of being honest with yourself and say, look, I do need some help in becoming the human being that applies all the stuff I am learning. Information alone doesn't change lives. It's what you do with it. All right? That's what I got to share with you today. I just realized it's about 8 o'clock and I got to hop on with a client right now. So I got to go hang out with her. Take care. God bless you. I will see you on Wednesday.